the Berryfield site, and I have a real issue with this site because this site has approved planning permission from Novus for 6 3-beds in July 2020. My understanding is the department didn't approve that as a scheme because they felt there was more 1-beds needed, even though the reason for that scheme was actually to tackle antisocial behaviour. Novus resubmitted an application in April 2022 and in June 2022, so 2 years after a planning permission had been approved for a site, 2 years later, Dublin City Council rejected that planning application. So 2 years later, on a site basically for 6 3-bedroom houses to stop antisocial behaviour, we've nothing built.
My understanding is there's some issues with the topography of the site, and I think you are correct, Deputy, it may need to go to redesign.
But that will be the 3rd planning application.
Yeah.
Even though there's a live planning application right there, right now for 6 3-bedroom homes. Can we not just give the approval and get it built?
Yeah. We have a number of engagements with DCC on implementation across some of these projects that are at various stages of the approval process, Deputy, so we certainly prioritise this one with them.
So I'll go now to Deputy McCall, please.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Just go back then to implementation of Housing for All. Just, as I say, it's not the officials in Dublin City Council or the officials in your department that are ultimately going to be held to account by the public for this. It's going to be me and you and many others. So that's why I suppose I'm not being adversarial with officials, but I do want to try and get more transparency about what decisions are made. Well, let me talk about a site in Berryfield in Finglas, okay? There's a planning application that's been lodged for 6 3-bedroom homes on that site 2 years ago, okay? The site is approved with planning permission. I don't know who requested that it be changed, but the AHB felt the need to resubmit a new application for 18 1- and 2-bedroom homes. When they resubmitted that application, Dublin City Council as the planning authority, rejected that planning application. So now here we are, more than 2 years later, there's a live planning application for 6 3-bedroom homes on a site in Berryfield. Can we just go ahead and build those 6 3-bedroom homes? There's a live planning application and AHB ready to build. We shouldn't be putting in a 3rd application. But it's an example of how I think sometimes things slip between the cracks on it. So I'll put that as an example. I'm happy to come back to me. The second point is, and the reason I raised it's going to be in our report, many local authorities seem to suggest that there was only funding of €5,000 for a void. Now, they also admitted later in the discussion that there was further funding, but there seemed to almost be a strategic withholding of some units for funding for more and for less. So if you have to do it by writing, I think I'd prefer you to do it because you don't need into too much of my own time. But there will be a recommendation in the report or a commentary in the report that local authorities said there was only €5,000 funding. And if you have a different view, I think I'd encourage you to submit that to the committee. And the last issue I want to raise is the tenant in situ scheme. So there was some discussion about the eviction ban. Look, I'm very clear, when people come into my clinic, I want to give them a permanent solution, not 6 months or 9 months of more worry. And the tenant in situ scheme is very clearly a long-term, positive and permanent solution for people. It's removing the reliance on HAP. So many people on this side of the House have been asking governments to stop being reliant on HAP. The tenant in situ scheme takes people out of the HAP network, gives them a permanent social home, and regardless of their place on the list, secures them. That's now a national scheme that's happened during the time of the eviction ban, when many people say nothing happened. I still think Richard Boyd Barrett isn't wrong. I've found myself saying that twice now today. I'm very worried. But he's not wrong. There still can be places where there's not a specific reference or access to a scheme, and local authorities, rather than putting them in somebody in emergency accommodation, which costs €70,000 a year, we should be finding ways to secure the property rather than not secure it. And I think that's your view too, Minister. But I have 2 questions then. A tenant in situ type scheme for people above the income limits, which is like a cost rental backstop, where are we with that? And given people the opportunity to purchase as well, just where are we with both of those?
In relation to Berryfield, Deputy McAuliffe, there is back and forth between DCC and the approved housing body, particularly around the number of one-bedroom units there. But I'll write to you specifically about it, and maybe Anya and the team can talk to you about it. Deputy